All right, so on Facebook, we had heaps of people asking you the same question: what to do for New Year's Eve in New Zealand?
All right.
So in this question, like there is so much to actually talk about. So because everybody has different needs, because everybody is a little bit different, we're going to cover 3 different aspects of New Year's Eve. We're going to cover New Year's Eve in cities, New Year's Eve in the wild and beautiful wilderness of New Zealand, and we're going to finish with the festivals because there are a ton of festivals available as well. So let's start with the cities.
Yeah.
I think it works really well. Laura, do you want to get us started?
Yeah, let's go for the biggest city in New Zealand is Auckland, and of course they do have a big New Year's Eve things going on. There's usually fireworks which usually come from the Sky Tower, which looks really spectacular. It's something they've done for the past few years. I'm not 100% sure if they're doing it this year, but I would assume so. And also all the bars and the clubs and stuff, they all obviously have New Year's Eve events going on, but do expect a cover charge to go to those clubs, and there's also pub crawls going on as well. And yeah, anything else that they would do in Auckland?
Well, Auckland, there's ton of bars.
It's just like to go and party basically.
Yeah, the one thing I would keep in mind is that some of the bars, especially in the city center, are going to be really busy, and there is going to be a cover charge, so you're going to need to pay to go inside the bar. There may be a little bit of a queue before getting in, so you can actually, for a lot of bars, you can go to our website like Event Finder, and you can actually book kind of your tickets for this bar, and that will allow you to skip the queue, which is sometimes quite handy.
Yeah.
Next city is Wellington, New Zealand's capital city. Now there is a little bit of a small New Year's Eve festival in a little bit of a park. So it's the Frank Keats Park Lagoon.
And that's right on the waterfront from the city centre.
Exactly. So it's super easy to access. Now there is also 2 fireworks there because they're really into families. So there is one like at 8 p.m. and one I think is 10 p.m. So like that, you know, if you're an early bird, you can catch a firework and then you go head to the pub, or you can just watch 2 fireworks if you're really into fireworks. So there's plenty of stuff to do there. Plus it's Wellington, there's pubs and bars everywhere, so the party is going to be full on.
Yeah.
And same thing, expect a little bit of a cover charge. Next city, Christchurch, no?
Yeah, so in Christchurch they have an event at Huggy Park, which is like the huge park that is right in the city centre, and that's where the Botanic Gardens are, for instance. So they have lots of live music going on, and it's kind of like a family-friendly event as well. And one of the really cool and quirky things they do is they get the the Arch Wizard of Canterbury to cast a spell for the new year. So if you've seen any pictures of this guy, basically there's this guy in the Christchurch area that always dresses up as a wizard and has a long white beard, and he's kind of like a public figure of Christchurch. So he always turns up to all the events, and you can pretty much guarantee he's going to be at the New Year's Eve event casting a spell as well. So
I can't believe they have an official Wizards of New
yeah.
Zealand. It is so Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And the last city town we're going to mention is Queenstown, obviously the party capital of the world, the party capital of New Zealand.
Yeah.
Bars everywhere. It's going to be a huge party over there, but something very rare in Queenstown, something free is happening in Queenstown. And Queenstown is an expensive place, so something free is always good. So on the lakefront, there is a free event with live music and fireworks, the lakefront is very easy to find. It's literally right in the city centre. So head there and have fun. And if you are willing to spend some money, go to bars, go to have fun. You know, it's going to be a big party.
Yeah.
And that wraps up for most of the cities in New Zealand. I know we didn't mention, for example, Gisborne and everything like that, because most of the parties are happening in festivals. Same thing for Rotorua, the biggest party is happening in festivals. So stick around. We're going to keep talking about the wilderness now, and then we talk about the festivals. Now, New Year's Eve in the wild, Laura, what's your favorite stuff to do?
Well, for me, I kind of like to get away and go do like a multi-day hike or something, or go to a beach and watch the sunrise the next morning, something like that. And there's lots of opportunity obviously to do that in New Zealand. There's loads of multi-day hikes, many awesome beaches to go watch the sunrise. But I think there's one special place where you can go to watch the sunrise for New Year's Day, and that is at Cape, what's it called? The East Cape? East Cape Lighthouse. And that's at the East Cape Lighthouse, which is on the very eastern side of the North Island, just above Gisborne. And this is one of the first places to actually see the sunrise in New Zealand, and actually in the whole world, because of its position on the international date line. So that's where you can actually be one of the first people to see the New Year's Day, like to see 2019. So that would be a really special thing to do.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I personally really like stargazing around this time of the year. I think it's pretty cool if you get yourself to the Dark Sky Reserve between Mount Cook and Lake Tekapo. It's absolutely amazing. It's a very different kind of New Year's Eve, but spending New Year's Eve literally right below the stunning Milky Way it's absolutely fantastic. So it's another great way to spend time for New Year's Eve, but in the wild. And that brings us to festivals. Festivals. Now, before we get started about festivals, we know that this video is literally made 2 days before New Year's Eve. So yeah, it is going to be expensive and hard to find tickets for some of those festivals. But if you guys want to go and do a big party and everything, it's definitely worth spending the money. This is some of the biggest and best parties you can have for New Year's Eve, for sure. So there is like 4 main festivals, but there is also a lot of really small ones. So let's start with literally the biggest one in New Zealand.
Yeah, so the biggest New Year's festival is Rhythm and Vines, which is in Gisborne, and the reason it's in Gisborne is because that's the first city in the world to see 2019, or to see the new year. So they have a huge festival party, and obviously because it is summer in New Zealand right now, it's like a big summer festival. There's lots of international acts there, and yeah, people are like camping. It's set in one of the vineyards there, and that's just a really awesome and popular festival to go to. And that festival also has a sister festival in the South Island called Rhythm and Alps, and that's located in the Cardrona Valley, which is this beautiful mountainous landscape between Wanaka and Queenstown. Again, they have similar acts that they would have at Rhythm and Vines, but yeah, that just puts you in another beautiful environment, and it's another cool way to go and see that festival. And then after that, there are a couple of other festivals in larger cities. For instance, in Rotorua, there is something called the Glow Festival, which lasts for about 3 days. And there's also on Waiheke Island, in one of their vineyards, they have a New Year's festival called High Life, which is on every year, and that's a really popular thing to go to as well. So they're kind of like the main festivals of New Zealand for New Year's. But as Robin said, there's actually loads of little ones as well. So the little ones, you're probably more likely to get tickets at last minute, because a lot of them aren't really popular yet, or they've just started a couple of years ago, so they're still trying to get some momentum. So they would still be really awesome festivals to go to, and they would probably be cheaper and yeah, easier to get tickets at this time of year. And one of the festivals I'm thinking of is something called the Aum Festival, or Aum Festival. And that is around the Auckland area. I think it's a couple of hours north of Auckland, so it's in the nice sunny Northland region. And that just started last year, and it was really popular, so they're doing it again this year. But I think that is one of the festivals that you would be able to get tickets to if you were trying to find some last minute festivals to go to for New Year's Eve. Do you have anything to add to that? Or?
No, I think we covered a lot of different aspects of spending New Year's Eve in New Zealand. There is really heaps to do. New Zealand will have a very different vibe than any other places like New York or Paris or any of that. But it's for the better. You're not in New Zealand to have the same thing that you're at home. So it's pretty cool. I hope that all this information was super useful. If you guys would be so kind to click like if you did find that helpful, that'd be really cool, because that helps us a lot. And if you're new here, hit subscribe, because we do these things every single week. And without further ado, I'm going to move on to the next question, because we have a lot of questions in the pipes.